Hi, Dr. Mansum Yau. I am so happy that you could come today on the AHELP channel and just talk to us about everything that you know about kitties and about what you've been doing and your interest in the world. So, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I loved writing that blog post for AHELP, and I am so glad that I get to talk to you in like because writing is one thing and then talking is another thing. So it's really lovely to be able to chat with you.
Oh, great. Yeah, same. And we'll just show on the screen here a link to your blog post that's on the AHELP site. So, yeah, I was so impressed when I got to know you at first because you brought up some really important points that come up in veterinary medicine and in my work with families, and that was in getting kitties to the veterinarian regularly. It's so important, and being an expert as you are in comfort and care for pets who are aging, terminally ill, even like as they get in their adult years, we think, oh, they're fine, they're healthy, they look good, and just, oh, whoops, a year, 2 years go by, and they haven't been to the vet. So I was interested to hear, like, from you, what, how do you become so passionate about this? I mean, yeah, sure, it's a known issue, but tell me about your experience that brought you to it.
Yeah, I've been a vet for 16 years, and over the years, I've seen so many cats either not show up to their appointments because their owners couldn't get them into the carrier, or they would show up late, and so we'd have limited amount of time to help them. Um, and there were so many cats who hadn't been to the vet in 7 or 8 or even longer, like 10 years, and people would be like, "Oh, I know if there's something wrong with them." Like one cat I saw, I kid you not, literally had a tumor on her face that the owners had not noticed. It was on her face. It's not like it was hiding somewhere. It was literally on her face, and I had to point out, like, oh, how long is this lump in here? And they're like, there's a lump? And they didn't even know there was a tumor on her face.
Oh.
So we took it off. It was cancerous, and glad we took it off. I'm glad after 10 years, they finally took their cat to the vet. But just to give you an example of, um, even though people see their cats every day, even though they feed them and they play with them and all that, you can still miss things like tumors, dental disease, heart disease, because most people don't have a stethoscope at home to listen to their cat's heart.
Right.
Yeah, and cats are masters of disguise, masters of hiding pain and discomfort. So they could be sick for days and weeks and months without people even knowing. And then by the time people realize it, it's almost sometimes it's too late to help them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just really a shame. And I know that there are other things that come up, this today's world right now, it can get costly and so forth, but there are options and there's even financial help for vet bills, and I've put that on our website too because I just realized how important it is for people to be able to get that ongoing vet care. But
Yeah. Like
going,
think of it as regular tune-ups. Like if you spend if you take your cat in, especially if you're a senior cat every half a year, and you get things caught early, get them treated early, it would cost less than having to pay a huge bill at the end, to try to fix things.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
good point. Yeah, that's a really great point. So I'm just known for personal experience with AHELP families that there are many reasons why that prevent them from getting their terminally ill and dying pets into the vet. So if you had one piece of advice that you could give to clients um, to get them to bring them into the vet, what would that be?
The number one piece of advice is to get them used to their cat carrier, to leave it out all the time for them to sleep in, play in.
Mhm.
You can even feed them in the carrier, because if you put it away, you're essentially hiding the carrier. And fear is usually lack of familiarity. So if they're not familiar with the carrier, they're scared of it, then it makes getting them into the carrier so much harder. It makes taking them to the vet so much harder. And then you end up postponing vet trips and In some cases, people actually dread going to the vet, not just because of the cost, but because it's so hard to get the cat into the carrier, so hard to transport them when they're meowing the whole time.
Yeah, yeah, and it can be really disturbing. And even caregivers can get hurt,
Oh
right?
yes,
Getting scratched and so forth.
yeah, I've seen people show up late, covered in scratches and bite marks, and the cats can also get injured. Like I've heard of cats needing their toes amputated because the toe got stuck in the
Oh,
cat carrier.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sad. Well, I can see that there are lots of, and then there are other, I love in the blog that you wrote for us, you sent all these photos. Love all the photos in that article of different kinds of carriers, right?
Yes.
I mean, I just had like the standard, like take him
Hmm.
to the vet, kind of plastic, hard-sided. But tell me about some of the other ones that you've liked and that Boo likes, your kitty.
Yeah, so my cat Boo really likes his backpack, which is designed so that when you open the carrier, the bottom slides out like a drawer. That way you don't have to
Nice.
force your cat out. You don't have to like definitely don't scruff them to take them out of the carrier. Like you just like it has a handle, you just pull it and then out comes your cat. It's called a transporter carrier by Travel Cat.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I didn't even know
Um,
that
there's
existed.
yeah, there's also a rolling carrier, what's called a rolling carrier that has wheels like luggage, like carry-on luggage. So if you have shoulder or back pain, and it's hard to get your cat to the vet, it's an excellent choice because you can just roll your cat around. Of course, you want to make sure you're careful going up like sidewalks, like and you can
Yeah,
take
of
you'd have
course.
to take the elevator, but it's still yeah, it's something that not enough seniors know about. Like they often struggle getting the cat into the carrier and struggle carrying the carrier to the vet, and then they're all stressed out and they ask for help, which can be hard, especially the veterinary staff are busy. So if you have a rolling carrier, it's a lot more portable.
Yeah, good. Yeah, those are great ideas, especially for people who are injured or just unable to carry a
Hmm.
big cat. So I can see that. Awesome. And I liked in the article that you wrote for us, you had all those pictures of Boo and the brand names too, of the ones you liked. So that was pretty cool. Um,
Not sponsored, by the way. Nobody paid me to mention
of
their
course,
company's
yeah,
carriers.
no, which
Yeah.
is great. Yeah, which
Yeah.
which which you stated that. So, Mansum, what can you tell us about, other tips? Like I always heard that, oh yeah, well just sedate them to get them to the vet. I mean, is that really something that people do, or what do you recommend there?
Yeah. So there's a medication called gabapentin, which is technically a pain medication that has a calming effect on cats. It's not a sedative, so you don't have to worry about the side effects the way you would worry with a real sedative.
Mhm.
And it's given at home a few hours before you take them to the vet. It's kind of like how some people have to take medication before they go to the dentist. Same
Mm.
idea. So it's better to be calm and sleepy than to be, having panic attacks at the dental office or the veterinary office.
Ah, okay, good.
Yeah.
Gabapentin, that's pretty commonly prescribed too, right? Easy to get.
Yeah. So I would ask your vet for the medication. Don't give your own without asking your vet.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good
And
advice.
yeah. And I have more tips in my book on cat carriers called The Ins and Outs of Cat Carriers, A Veterinary's Guide to Cat Carriers, which is available on Amazon, Etsy, Kindle, Kobo, Apple Books, and Google Play.
Cool, cool. Okay. Well, we'll put a link to one of those, I don't know, one of those at least,
Hmm.
and put them all in the description so that people can find it easily. Because so I love that about your book. There's so many great illustrations, and tell me what else is in your book because it's really unique kind of book.
Yeah, so there's even comics.
Awesome.
There's what I call um, motivational quotes.
Cute.
I
That's
wanted the
awesome.
book to be fun to read, not just educational, but also fun.
Uh-huh.
There's a crossword puzzle. There's uh, even horoscopes.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
so
there's funny
cute.
poems, there's cat jokes, there's a section specifically for vet clinics. There's a list of cat cures at the end of the book.
Uh-huh.
There's information on different cat personalities.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Good. That's great. Well, that you really obviously have quite a comic in you. And that was another thing that caught me when I found you on LinkedIn, and what
Hmm.
attracted me to you is that you're a comedian. So tell us about that, because I just was so neat. It was so neat and unique to see.
Yeah, so there's a lot of heaviness, a lot of sadness in what I do as a veterinarian.
Yeah.
And instead of just avoiding that sadness or heaviness, I wanted to balance it out because life can't be happy all the time.
Mm, yeah.
Pets pass away sometimes very suddenly, sometimes in a very traumatic way, and you want to be there for people. You want to be present. You don't want to just check out. You don't want to dissociate,
Mhm.
and you also don't want to become depressed depressed or what's the word? What they call compassion fatigue is actually not just
Yeah.
compassion, but also like empathy fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
So my way of coping in a healthy way is to do stand-up comedy, to write jokes, to make people laugh. There's no better feeling in the world.
Yeah.
And I noticed that during my vet appointments, people would be so nervous. I could just see them. They're all tense, like their hands are like this, they're just sitting there all like, shoulders are,
Yeah.
um, aren't relaxed. And then the minute I'd crack a joke, I could just see them visibly relax. And then they would like tell me things that they might not like. They would tell me things about their pets that they might not have told me if they weren't so if they hadn't relaxed.
Mm,
Going to the vet is really stressful to people. That's the other reason why people avoid it because they're scared of going to the vet. It stresses them out. It's not just the cost. It's not just the difficulty of getting their cat into the carrier, but also just the heaviness and the sadness. And so some
yeah.
people just put it off having important conversations about their cat's quality of life and
Mhm.
um,
Yeah.
important conversations that need to be addressed, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I can imagine so just keeping it light, just keeping it light. I mean, everyone wants to do right by their animals, and it's the one thing that I've found universally. And the reason I love what I do is because they're animal lovers like me, and we all love our pet, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like, it doesn't get any better than that as far
Mm-hmm.
as I'm concerned. But yes, it is stressful, and especially if they are ill, we're worried they're not doing well, and all the rest of it. So yeah, well, it's good to have more people like you around.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure your pet parents really value that about you. And the other thing I noticed when I was on LinkedIn is that you're a massage therapist. And that's not that common for a veterinarian to have that skill in her toolkit. How did you come upon that?
Yeah, so I got my certification in canine massage. So I only massage dogs and cats. I don't massage humans.
Okay.
Although I've had clients jokingly say, "Can you massage me too? My back hurts too." Uh, yeah, so it's a modality, like a drug-free, relaxing modality that I think more people need to know about because cats and dogs can get stiff muscles and restricted fascia. The protective covering over muscles can get really crinkly and dry, just like
Mhm. Ah,
us.
yeah.
And
Mhm.
they get stressed just like us. So massage can really help them relax, sleep better, um, be less tight. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, good. So that can, and one thing I found when I'm working with families, I'm not a massage therapist, but
Hmm.
I have been to seminars because I wanted to help my own pets,
Hmm.
and a few of them have had like aggressive tendencies, dog aggression, fear aggression, puppy mill rescues, and
Hmm.
so I learned a few like massage, just very gentle massage
Hmm.
therapies, that easy techniques that I've actually taught pet parents that I'm helping this. And I found that it just really helps them to have like very concentrated, focused time with their pet. They just get down on the floor and relax them, and it relaxes the caregiver, and it's just all good. So I can imagine that with all the tension that you're in with veterinary medicine, that kind of builds a special bond with you and the animals as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a way to bond with your pet. Uh, like when I massage pets, their parents or their family member is usually present, and I play calming music. And I've had people tell me, "Oh, even though you're not massaging me, I feel calmer after my dog's massage."
Nice. Yeah, yeah, I bet. Yeah, absolutely. Who doesn't like some nice relaxing music? And actually that reminds me, speaking of music, I was reflecting on my own experience when I had Mickey, my kitty. He had been rescued and had a little bit of had a pretty good experience with cat carrier, so he could get in. But then I got
Hmm.
him into the car, and he would just meow. I mean, it was like driving us all crazy,
Hmm.
and I didn't know what to do. So I basically, I mean, would you? I wasn't sure what to do. I like had from the dog's ear, for the dog's ear, music.
Hmm.
Put it on the on the stereo, and that worked out pretty well. And then come to find, you can also get stuff like that on YouTube
Hmm.
nowadays, right? This was 10 years ago, but um, what I also have found is that there are other things. Would you recommend like calming music for a cat in the car, for instance?
Yes, yeah. So there's a study that shows that music can play a role in your cat's behavior. It can calm them down.
Uh-huh.
And there are cats that like classical music, for example. Like, so just like us, they have preferences. Like, there's some cats that listen to classical music. There are other cats that don't. But uh, yeah, there's a story I like to share with people. Like someone I know in Seattle plays the piano, and every time I play the piano, his cat would join him. Because like if his cat didn't like the piano, he would have ran away and hid. Like he wouldn't have like gone up and laid on the piano or on the chair next to the piano. And
Yeah.
um, yeah, so another tip is to give them gabapentin before the
Yeah.
car ride, before you take them to the vet.
Right.
That will calm
Right.
them down too, so they're not crying the whole time.
The other thing I was thinking too is what I've done with my dog is when he's stressing and doesn't want to go on a car ride, I've given him lavender. But so is something like lavender something that you'd recommend for a
N-
cat?
Not for cats.
Okay.
Cats can be sensitive to the scent of lavender.
Yeah.
And there's a list of essential oils that unfortunately aren't cat or dog friendly because um, some scents can irritate their airways and cause like asthma or like respiratory
Mm,
issues.
yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's really good to know. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I've heard, is tea tree oil one of those? I heard. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think it's worth looking into because we think simple things like they're gonna help, but then, they're cats aren't humans and cats aren't dogs, and yeah, so it's important just really being very cognizant of their own little unique um, species and their personalities.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are calming pheromones that
Oh,
they can smell that we can't. There are different brands like Feel Away for cats,
oh
and
yeah.
there's one for dogs as well.
Yeah, yeah. Good. Yeah, I've seen those too. So perfect. Well, thanks so much, Dr. Mansum. And it's really been helpful to learn more about how to get kitties to the vet more regularly, how to get them in cat carriers, and to get to know you better too, and the work that you're doing in Vancouver, BC, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Good,
Thank
good.
you for the work that you do as well. It's great that people have AHELP as a resource.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, well, we love what we do, and it's clear you do too.
Yes.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Enjoy the
You're
sunshine today.
welcome. Thank
Have a great
you.
day. Okay, bye now.
Catch you later.
Bye.